Hello and welcome to today's video, and today I'm going to be talking about two brand new attractions opening later this year in UK. There are both very similar attractions in terms of like what they're going to offer, because they are both already existing dark rides that are being reimagined into almost completely new attractions for the 2023 season. Now the first one that we heard of was The Curse at Alton Manor, going to Alton Towers on the 18th of March 2023. And that is a complete overhaul of the previous attraction, Duel: The Haunted House Strikes Back. And basically what they're doing with that, they're giving the ride a completely new storyline, they're getting rid of the laser guns, and they are basically, that means they're going to be changing all the special effects, they're going to make it a lot more immersive with a new storyline. You won't have any more of the screaming, like weird alien things, and it's going to be a lot more darker and creepier than it was before. See, because Duel: The Haunted House Strikes Back was more of a family-friendly attraction. This is going to be more like the original Haunted House, but a little bit more with a darker story than it had previously. And the second one is Ghost Train at Thorpe Park, and it is a refurbishment of the previous Derren Brown's Ghost Train, but it's no longer Derren Brown's Ghost Train, meaning this attraction has entered the public domain, so technically it is everyone's Ghost Train. But now they are basically, Derren Brown's name has been removed from the attraction, they're giving it a new storyline as well. And like The Curse at Alton Manor, they're removing a completely essential feature from the original attraction. But instead of not having laser guns anymore, they're going to remove the virtual reality headsets from the attraction. Meaning all the effects in the ride is going to be an actor-led experience with loads of immersive special effects throughout the attraction. It's going to be the same sort of ride type where you like sit in a train with like scary like theming and whatnot, but it's going to be all practical effects, no VR or anything. And both of these attractions sound absolutely fantastic, and they sound like a definite improvement than their previous attractions. I never got to go on Derren Brown's Ghost Train, but I went on Duel, and when I was like a lot younger, I used to think it was fantastic, but then I realised that it could actually be a lot better. When I became more like interested in theme parks, I came to realise it could be a lot better than it actually was, especially all last season when all the theming was starting to like sort of decay, and like all the like sort of theme was starting to wear off, and like because it's been like that since 2003. The actual attraction has existed since 1992, but they rethemed it to Duel: The Haunted House Strikes Back in 2003, gave it laser guns that year, and obviously a lot of people gave it negative reception when it got laser guns. Even John Wardley himself, the man who designed the original attraction, said he didn't like the addition of laser guns. And so, especially last season, it was a kind of like wear and tear state. You could see all like the mechanics for the special effects that were in the attraction, and fittingly, John Wardley himself is actually involved in the refurbishment of this attraction into The Curse at Alton Manor. And as for Derren Brown's Ghost Train, apparently that was just like completely like negatively received when it first opened from the get-go. So much so, in fact, that the next season they rebranded it to Derren Brown's Ghost Train Rise of the Demon and changed some of the special effects. The reception for that was slightly better than it had previously been, but overall it still had pretty negative reviews over the years. So they're completely changing that and getting rid of the VR, and making it a lot more practical effects and actors in it, apparently, from what I've heard. And it's going to be much more immersive, and obviously it's got its own storyline. Derren Brown himself isn't even in the attraction, this new version of it anyway, because obviously the contract with him, as far as I know, has ended. Or either that or Thorpe Park have just stopped it themselves, I'm not sure. But basically, the point I'm trying to make is that these two attractions opening later this year are both fine examples of what the future of dark rides in the UK could possibly be. Obviously, because there are quite a few other dark rides in the UK, these are probably the two main ones though. But this could be what ends up with other dark rides across the UK in the next few years. Like, there's plenty of amusement parks out there with dark rides that are quite, like, shall we say, dated and need an upgrade. Like, they could do this with, like, the Little Monsters Haunted House at Flamingo Lands. If they'll ever do that, I'm not sure if they will. But the point is being, there's loads of, like, the dark rides in this country. Like, they could do this with the Gruffalo River Ride Adventure at Chessington. They could update that with much more modern theming. Well, not more modern theming, but more special effects. Maybe they could, obviously if the Gruffalo intellectual property runs out, which it might do in the next few years. They might need to update the attraction with an original theme and a new storyline, and therefore much more immersive special effects. Now, as for other dark rides, such as Wallace and Gromit's Thrill-O-Matic at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, they don't need to touch that. It is absolutely perfect the way it is. Jeez. But basically, this could be what the future of dark rides in the UK are. So obviously, as theme parks are getting a lot more technologically advanced, especially even in like the UK and such, obviously a lot more money is being spent in these brand new attractions, even if it's just like refurbishments of previous ones. So we could see this with dark rides, other dark rides in the UK. And if we do, I cannot wait to see this happen, because there are a lot more. Some people might say that the dark rides we currently have, some of the ones like Ghost Train at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, should be kept as it is. And bear in mind, Ghost Train at Blackpool Pleasure Beach is like from the 1930s and is a vintage attraction. I suppose that can stay as it is, just obviously with the regular maintenance each season. But with things like the Gruffalo River Ride Adventure, that could definitely benefit from like an overhaul and a renovation with more modern special effects. And obviously that would be absolutely brilliant if they did that, and I cannot wait to see what, if obviously, especially if these two attractions are successful, which it looks like they are definitely going to be. I mean, literally, they're hyping these two attractions up so much, especially the Curse at Alton Manor. Like, they literally built a giant pop-up doll's house in London just to market this attraction with like all different clues inside. And it was absolutely fantastic, and I cannot wait to see what these two attractions end up being like when they open. So I want to thank you all very much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, then please much just like, subscribe, and comment your like, see you in the next video. Bye!